when they tell you to leave because you're invading their lunch on 2 occasions that I've come down here, and I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. They haven't told you, they haven't made any ill will threats, they haven't told you to fuck up, they haven't called you any names, they just told you to leave, and you still stand there and instigate with them and say things and continue to say,
I say cops, Belfast cops are criminal cunts because they are.
And that's,
you're a criminal.
And
you know that?
That's fine for you to think that, Sean.
No, it's not.
You're offending other people.
I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter.
That's called disorderly conduct.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Look at the statute. What the statute says.
I have.
Look at the statute. It says
to
taunt, challenge, or somebody. It's fighting words.
Video.
See, you can't even listen. You can't even listen to what the actual law is.
There are at least 2 ways to be falsely accused of breaking a law. The false accuser could lie about the facts, but be telling the truth about the law, which is what normally happens, of course. But it's conceivable that somebody could tell the truth about the facts, but lie about the law. For example, let's say the crime in question was theft from a jewelry store. If a theft actually happened, some valuable item was illegally taken, then a false accuser could lie about the facts and say that that they saw you breaking the glass in the jewelry store and taking the item. They could just say that it was you, and it's true that breaking glass and taking items from a jewelry store is most likely illegal in most places, so they would be telling the truth about the law. And again, of course, that's what normally happens. But it's also conceivable that even if no theft took place, a false accuser could accuse you of theft by saying that, let's say, you walk past the jewelry store and you looked in the window for a little while, and I don't know, the owner got uncomfortable and because you were looking in the store window too long, and so they came out and asked if you were going to steal something, and you said no and left or whatever. And they said, well, that constitutes theft. I mean, somebody could say that. That's a false accusation, but it's one that somebody could make. Now, that second example, in most places, is pretty absurd. But here in Maine, where I live, and I'm currently accused of 2 separate crimes, the district attorney has complete discretion over who gets charged, with what, for what reason. There's no probable cause hearing where a judge gets to weigh in and see whether the arrest or summons is, the arresting officer had valid reason for arresting the person. And as far as I can tell from what I've been able to find out, the only way to get a judge to dismiss charges, to get a dismissal hearing and get a judge to weigh in, for example, is under very special circumstances. It has to be a felony charge, and then only if the person charged is coming up against their right to a speedy trial. It's, like I said, 100% at the discretion of the district attorney whether to charge someone or not. So that second example of somebody walking past the jewelry store and being falsely accused of theft over it, could turn into a charge here in Maine. It's ridiculous. I would most likely fail. The person would not be convicted, and the district attorney who brought the charge would most likely face some scrutiny at the very least, and the like. But the person who was so falsely accused couldn't sue the district attorney over it even. It's entirely at their discretion here. A judge doesn't get to weigh in on it. Now, as you can see here on this letter from my attorney, I have 2 charges pending against me at the moment here in Waldo County. And they are listed in reverse order here, at least as far as the order in which they happened, and I was summoned for them. And as it happens, regarding the criminal mischief charge, which is number 2 here, listed as mischief, is honest about the law, but being dishonest about the facts. I'm accused of damaging a trike, a motor trike, and if I had acted as they are saying I had acted, which is to say that I just hit this guy's motor trike with a stick out of the blue and damaged it for no good reason, if that were true, then that would in fact be against the law. But it's not true. The second charge, which is disorderly conduct, which is listed here as number 1 as just disorderly, is fairly honest about the facts, mostly honest. There are some exaggerations and distortions and the like, but it's mostly honest about the facts. But it just lies about the law. The officer who summoned me for it, Megan Trebuzio of the Belfast Police Department, spends a lot of her report justifying summoning me for it, giving her interpretation of the law. And it's absurd, as you'll see, because I'm going to be going over it here in just a moment. But first, for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, here is the roughly 57 seconds of video the police are using as evidence. Sorry to tell you this, folks, but Belfast has victim-blaming, criminal cunt police. And if the Swanvillan on YouTube gets no justice, then Belfast is not going to get any peace.
We would like some peace.
Well, you're in Belfast. Here's what you can do to get some peace.
You know what I'm about to do to get some peace? Get the hell out of here. Leave me alone. Leave us alone. We don't want to talk.
Belfast has victim-blaming, criminal cunt police.
That's what they're there for.
No, it's not, because I'm not breaking any laws. Not breaking any laws. But I am going to the library, so you can tell them to meet me over there, all right? It's just right up the street here. They know where it is. Now, after I was summoned, I was given this summons to appear. I wasn't arrested. After I was given that summons, since I had been accused of a crime, and since the man in the video there said something that could be considered a threat,
You know what I'm about to do to get some peace? Get the hell out of here.
I decided to counter-accuse him and say, well, you know, if he's going to accuse me of a crime, I'm going to accuse him of a crime. And I sent a video and an email to Megan Trebuzio, the same officer who summoned me, and I accused him of criminal threatening. She never responded to me, never acknowledged that I had submitted that complaint, or there was nothing from that I received. So there's that. And then also after I was charged, because you're given the summons and then you have to appear at court, you know, it's traffic summons, and I appeared in court and was charged, and I was initially accused of just accosting Wooten and his wife there with offensive language, accosting with offensive language. And I made a couple of videos about that, about how absurd that is to be charged with swearing, basically. Accosting with offensive language is just, going up to somebody and saying whatever. I mean, accosting somebody is just, approaching somebody boldly and saying something. It's not illegal in and of itself, nor is offensive language. So I made some videos about how absurd that was, that I would be charged over that. And I also submitted at least one court document where I made a kind of a similar claim. And now gestures has been added to the charge. So I'm accused of accosting with offensive language and gestures. I don't know what gestures. There's no reference to gestures that I see or pick up in the police report, which I am now about to actually go over. If you know what they're talking about, please let me know in the comments so that I'll have an idea, because I don't see it. So first of all, we have the cover page here of the complaint. Count 1, disorderly conduct, and the main thing here to note, I guess, is where it says that the officer being duly sworn states upon information and belief. That's a lie, right from the get-go. And then it quotes the statute there. Well, it states that on or about August 27th, 2024, in Belfast, Waldo County, Maine, Sean J. Floyd, which is me, did knowingly accost, insult, taunt, or challenge Michael Wooten and or Joanna Wooten with offensive, derisive, or annoying words, or by gestures or other physical conduct which would in fact have a direct tendency to cause a violent response by an ordinary person in the situation of the person so accosted, insulted, taunted, or challenged. And then, so it puts my name to the statute, but then it reasserts or something, then it goes on and says, Sean J. Floyd did accost Michael Wooten and or Joanna Wooten with offensive language. To, I guess, highlight that it was words that I was using. That was the offensive part of all that, according to Officer Tribuzio. And then the next page here is kind of a cast of characters, I guess. Rock Daniel, who is the owner of the restaurant of Fawn's Kitchen. He's listed as a witness. Then there's me, again, listed as a suspect. And Michael and Joanna Wooten listed as complainant. Michael, because he called the cops, and then Joanna Wooten because she was involved and I guess is also an alleged witness. And then the harassment was the initiating complaint, I guess. Okay. And then we get to the meat of it. The report, the narrative, and it starts with an incorrect statement, which I don't think is a lie, but it says, on August 8th, 2024, I got called down to the area of Fawn's Kitchen on High Street. It actually wasn't on, it was on August 27th. The complainant, Mike Wooten, had called in. By the way, I think my attorney, or my court-appointed attorney, well, court-appointed counsel, I'm representing myself, but I got this through him because at least temporarily he's representing me, and maybe only temporarily being my counsel, but in any event, until that gets straightened out, I got this from him in a letter, and it's the second copy of this I got, and this one has things circled on it, so I assume that he did that. Just thought I'd mention that, in case anybody was wondering. So I guess, presumably these are things that somebody thinks are important. Let's see, where was I? The complainant, Michael Wooten, had called in as he was eating with his wife, and a man was harassing them while they ate their lunch. Well, I was protesting nearby. I believe this man to be Sean Floyd from Swanvillan, Maine. Sean has been walking around the city of Belfast for a couple of months now and chalking the streets with the words of, quote, "cops are cunts," unquote. That's a kind of a funny way to put it. I think what she's trying to do there, though, is highlight that I'm using offensive words there. Sean has been known to carry a sign that says, quote, "cops are cunts," which actually isn't true. I carry a sign that says, "cops are criminal cunts," or "Belfast cops are criminal cunts." Anyway, and often engages verbally with anyone that he can while walking around Belfast. Also, that's just conjecture on her part. No, I'm quite selective about who I engage with verbally, actually, as it happens. You see me. You, from your perspective, I'm sure it seems like I'm engaging with anyone I can. Upon my arrival, Officer Trebuzio continues, I spoke with Michael Wooten. Sean Floyd was not seen in the area. I spoke with Michael and his wife, Joanna Wooten. Michael stated that they were eating lunch when a man approached them with a video camera and called himself the Swanvillan. Not really true. I approached them. I had a phone, not a video camera, and I didn't call myself the Swanvillan. I said, if the Swanvillan gets no justice. But in any event, I'm being particular. Anyway, I guess I have kind of a right to be, particular about the facts here. They're just all kind of mixed up a bit, and the writing here is well, you'll see. Anyway, the man then continued to speak to Michael and Joanna about how the Belfast Police Department were cunts. Well, victim-blaming criminal cunt. Police is what I said. Michael asked the man, Sean, to leave. Sean then continued to talk to them and did not leave. This is my right. Michael stated that he turned in his chair and told Sean if he didn't leave, he was going to do something. Sean then told Michael not to threaten him. Michael then told Sean he would be calling the police and then the police department, and then called the police department. Not long after, Michael called the police. Sean stated that he would be at the library and that is where the police could meet him. After talking to Michael, I spoke with him again briefly to clarify the interaction they had with Sean. I don't know if she means, see, she talked to me and then she went back to Fawn's kitchen and got their statements and stuff after. I don't know. I think that's what she's alluding to there, but sort of trying to maybe cover up a little bit. Maybe not. I don't remember it. Oh, we'll see. I asked Michael if they were engaging in a conversation with Sean. Michael and Joanna stated that they were not having a conversation with Sean, but that Sean came up to them, it says, but I assume it means up to them, and stated, quote, the Belfast police are cunts, unquote, and, quote, he would stop until he got peace, unquote. That doesn't make sense, but, well, anyway. Well, I don't know if that's a material, an important error. Probably not. Both Joanna and Michael stated that Sean was asked to leave them alone, but would not. This, to me, shows that Sean was intentionally engaging with these citizens and harassing them while they ate their lunch. Well, I was intentionally engaging with them. It doesn't show, harassing them. You could look up the harassment statute, I think. If you mean it informally, well, they didn't charge me with it, so I suppose so. They were not having a friendly conversation, and even when Sean was asked to leave, he didn't. Well, I didn't know that private citizens could just command you to leave public property. I wasn't aware. But apparently they can if they're offended or something, according to Officer Trabuzio. I found Sean at the Belfast Free Library on High Street down the road from Fawn's Kitchen. I had other paperwork to serve Sean on behalf of the Waldo County Sheriff's Department. I did speak with Sean about the incident outside Fawn's Kitchen. At the time, she did. When she met me at the library. And then she goes on, I have watched the YouTube video that was posted by Sean Floyd of this incident that occurred at Fawn's Kitchen. From the recording that Sean posted, you see Sean walk over to the outside seating area of Fawn's Kitchen. Sean then stands on the sidewalk next to Michael and Joanna. Sean then stated, quote, sorry to tell you this, folks, but Belfast has victim-blaming criminal cunt police, and if the, Swanvillan on YouTube gets no justice, then Belfast is not going to get any peace. So, well, that's correctly quoted there. Michael then asked Sean, quote, we would like some peace, which isn't really a question, but again, not important. Sean then stated, quote, well, you're in Belfast. Here's what you can do to get some peace, unquote. Michael then stops eating, turns in his chair, and tells Sean, quote, you know what I'm about to do to get some police? Get the hell out of here. Leave me alone. Leave us alone. We don't want to talk to you. Now, I think that's just a typo. I don't think that's her trying to cover for him or anything. But it's a funny one. Excuse me. The video then cuts. Oh, no, sorry. We don't want to talk to you. Sean then turns his camera to face the street and says, quote, Belfast has victim-blaming criminal cunt police, unquote. The video then cuts out to a clip of Sean asking viewers to subscribe now. Well, no. It cuts out to a sign that goes across, as you saw, that says subscribe and like and whatever. But anyway, again, not super important. It's just funny how many little errors, how error-prone certain people may be, I guess. You can then hear Sean say something about how he isn't breaking any laws, and then he starts to walk away and states he will be at the library. Okay, true enough, I guess. I made contact with Sean at the library. When I asked Sean about what had occurred at Fawn's Kitchen, he stated, nothing illegal on my part. When I tried to talk to Sean about what he said to the people eating their lunch at Fawn's Kitchen, he argued with me about if would be considered disorderly contact. I think hopefully that's clear enough. And it's sort of true, I guess. I explained to Sean that he had to be careful of what he says, as others might find his language offensive. Well, I mean, that's... You can have that opinion. Sean then tried to have a conversation with me about how he gets threatened by these people as they tell him to, quote, fuck off. That's not true. What I did is I said that how about, what are you going to do about people that do that? Since you're here, accosting me, I wish he was, accosting me about, my protests. What about people that tell me to fuck off when I'm protesting? And then she's conflating that, mixing it up with me it's complaining about this ex-cop who had threatened me like a couple days before, and which I had complained to her about, and which she just blew off as no, it wasn't I didn't say it. I wasn't demonstrative enough or expressive enough when I said it, or something like just making excuses basically for that guy as well.
Nothing illegal on my part. What's going on with the ex-cop that I tried to report for criminal threatening?
What's going on with what?
The ex-cop who I reported for criminal threatening. The guy that
If you want to give me the actual video footage, not the edited video footage from online, I'd be able to, like...
it's uploaded. I emailed you a week and something ago.
I intend to. Yeah, if you want to give me, again, I'm not going to use the video footage that's uploaded online because you edit all that.
I didn't edit. No, this is I uploaded. I specifically published the unedited footage.
Okay.
It's all in the email that I sent you.
Okay. So, I don't see any side of criminal threatening there.
Of course you don't. He's
no.
an ex-cop.
That's not why, Sean. I was there. You didn't seem to be in fear of your life or anything. You had a conversation with me there. You weren't running off.
Oh, I wasn't scared enough. I see.
So,
I wasn't scared enough. Got it.
well, I'm trying to understand why you want to report things after the fact.
Oh, I see. Now it's too late. Got it.
I'm trying to understand that.
Yeah,
Can you help
there's
me understand
always
that?
an excuse. There's always an excuse.
Sean, will you help me understand why you want to report things after the fact? We were right there. What, you know what I mean? Why do you want to
I did
things
report it. I said he threatened me. It's on video.
Okay.
You liar. Yes, it is.
No, I'm not saying
Watch
it's
the
not on
video.
I'm not saying it's not on video, Sean. I'm not saying that. But you never told me that you were in fear.
Oh, I see.
You have to express these things.
Oh, I see. I see. Got it.
Okay. So, can I have you sign this summons for me?
Let's see. When I tell him to fuck off, people telling Sean to quote fuck off is not a treat, and it's also not a threat. Is presumably what she means, and she's right. But it is disorderly conduct. At least, I mean, if it's done in a, maybe not just in passing, but if somebody does it, gets in your face, fuck off, get the fuck out, like that. It's disorderly conduct. And I didn't say it was a threat. And anyway, I then informed Sean that when he speaks with people and they have asked him to leave and he doesn't, it becomes disorderly conduct as he is using language to them that is offensive. Really? Really? I think that's a misinterpretation of the law. Sean then stated, quote, I say Belfast cops are criminal cunts. They are, unquote. I then informed Sean that when he says those words out loud, he is offending people, and that is a crime of disorderly conduct. And, by the way, she also said one of those offensive words out loud, virtually in the process of explaining this to me.
They haven't told you to fuck up. They haven't called you any names.
I then informed Sean then argued with me by telling me that the law for disorderly conduct is about fighting words. Quote, fighting words, unquote. I then responded back to Sean that the word offensive is in the criminal statute for disorderly conduct. So is the word words, or language, or so is challenge. Does that mean every time Belfast is the 5K challenge that they're breaking the disorderly conduct statute? While I left to go write a criminal summons for Sean, he followed me to my cruiser, calling me names, stating that I was a cunt, bitch, you're a piece of shit, and was flipping me off. All true enough, I guess, except she didn't go there to she didn't go to write the criminal summons for me at that point. She left and went back to Fawn's Kitchen and solicited their complaints. That's what actually happened. Because then she continues, I went back to serve Sean with the summons for disorderly conduct. Right? After she went to Fawn's Kitchen. While I served it, Sean talked over me about how he felt that this criminal summons was not legal, as he felt that he didn't commit the crime of disorderly conduct. Sean was stated that the criminal statute talks about fighting words in which you do not use. After Sean signed the summons under threat of arrest, he then started shouting, outside the library, quote, cops are cunts, unquote. I then Sean that he needed to be careful what he says out loud, as some people might find his language offensive. Yeah, well, yeah, they might, and that's your opinion, but it's not a violation of the disorderly conduct statute. I also spoke with the owner of Fawn's Kitchen, Danielle Rock, who had a conversation with Sean Floyd. Okay, so when did you do that? When you went back and solicited the complaints. During this conversation, the owner expressed to Sean that he understood why he was protesting, but that he needed to leave the customers alone as he was being disruptive. Sean then became more disruptive by raising his voice. That is just flatly untrue.
Hi there.
Hi.
How can we help you?
I don't know that you can. Thank you, though. Well, you know what you could do? You could call City Hall, 338-3370.
Why would I do that?
Well, and tell them that, see, here's the problem. Belfast has victim-blaming criminal cunt police, and if the Swanvillan gets no justice, Belfast isn't going to get any peace.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I have to be disruptive, otherwise nobody cares. Okay, thanks, you too.
This guy's a liar. That's a lie right there. Daniel stated that he didn't see the whole interaction between the customers and Sean, but that when he did look outside, Sean was uncomfortable close to the customers. I guess in his opinion. Again, it's a public sidewalk I was on. The main, excuse me, criminal statute for disorderly conduct, 17A, 501A, 1B states, I already read it, and please see the attached witness statements. And finally, the link to Sean's YouTube video from the day of the 27th is located below. At about 3 minutes and 45 seconds, he walks over to Fawn's Kitchen and starts to cause issues with the people eating lunch. And that's the video you saw that she's referring to that I published back a while. And there's a link. And the reporting officer is Officer Trebuzio. And then there's a bit of the CAD call info here. It just says, I guess Fairbrother D is the dispatcher. It says, caller states there is a man calling himself the Swanvillan outside harassing people eating. And then another call, a minute later, caller states that he just got into my face. Or maybe that was the same call, but just an update. I'm not sure exactly, but regardless, whether it was being called back or whatever, caller stated that he just got in my face. So that would be Michael Wooten stating that. And next we have the victim witness statement from Daniel Rock, who was the owner of Fawn's Kitchen. And he says that on Thursday during lunch shift at Fawn's Kitchen, 132 High Street in Belfast, a commercial there, my server, Megan M., informed me that I should go outside to check on table number 12. I think there's maybe 3 tables outside, but I guess counting from inside to the out. Anyway, as I walked out, I observed a man with a camera on a stick/pole. He was very close, standing, to our customers who were sitting. The sidewalk is approximately, I can stretch out my arms, touch the front of the building where Fawn's Kitchen is, and my other arm would extend past the edge of the sidewalk. It's like a narrow, kind of old school sidewalk through the center of historic Belfast town. And the what again we saw, but then there's outside tables there on public property. They rent them or something like that, but it's still public property where they were eating lunch. Parking spaces, public parking spaces. And he continues, I stated to the man with the camera, quote, can you see you are causing a disturbance, unquote. He then told me he was within his legal boundaries. That's true enough, I guess. I feel he was being physically and verbally aggressive to my customers. That is just a lie. Yeah, you know. Imagine I'll be seeing more of you this summer. Not in any kind. That's not any kind of threat. I'm just saying, once this is cleared up, I'll be protesting. You know, that's now a spot. Which, why not? You know, I'm gonna be around protesting in Belfast. So, yeah, that's all I mean by that. Okay, next is Michael Wooten himself. And what he says is, on or about 27 August 2024, myself, Michael Wooten, and my wife Joanna were having lunch at Fawn's Kitchen at approximately 12:45 hours when a man calling himself the Swanvillan approached us with his camera and began ranting about the Belfast police being, quote, cunts, unquote, and if he didn't get justice, Belfast would have no peace. He was recording and clearly addressing us. We were the only ones there. I told him to leave us alone, something multiple times, and he just kept getting worse. I told him I was going to do something about it, and he told me it was illegal to threaten him. I told him I was calling the police, and it was not a threat. He continued to verbally harass us and the restaurant staff. Hi, I am now editing this video the following day, and on second thought, Michael Wooten is definitely lying there. I did not verbally harass anybody like he's claiming at no point during the interaction. That is just a straight up lie, and Michael Wooten is a liar.
You're not getting harassed. I'm not harassing anybody. Just talking about how Belfast has victim-blaming criminal cunt police, and if the Swanvillan gets no justice, then Belfast won't get any peace. So that's all. I'm just talking about that. I'm not harassing anybody.
As long as everyone is okay.
Well, I don't know. This guy seems to be calling the police. He threatened me, sort of.
Sing us,
And then...
and we don't want any part of this conversation. Okay.
Don't participate.
Sorry? I'm so sorry. I don't actually know. I think it's 1:32.
He continued to verbally harass us and the restaurant staff, at one point coming up on my rear left very closely and leaning in toward me. Not knowing his intent and feeling threatened, I stood up out of my chair to face him. I repeated my demand. He go away and leave us alone. He told me to tell the police to hurry up, and after a few more minutes of this, he said, tell the police to meet me at the library. Nothing follows. So, yeah, he was on the phone calling the police. I kind of leaned over a little bit, and he overreacted like the drama queen that he clearly is.
Now you're in my space.
I am not in your space, dude.
You're making us be involved in the conversation now by getting up in our personal
You're
space.
making me... You're calling the cops on me, lady. What do you expect?
That's what you're there for.
No, it's not, because I'm not breaking any laws.
And then finally we have Joanna Wooten, and here's what she has to say. I was sitting at Fawn's Kitchen's outside dining table with my husband, eating lunch. A man came up to the edge of the sidewalk next to our table and spoke to us as he put a tripod with electronic device on it on the ground. I saw. I mean, I set it down like that, upright. I guess is what she means. I saw the man the lens faced in our direction. Okay, so she has an issue with being filmed, clearly. He informed us that Belfast cops are, quote, cunts, unquote. He started to go on about that. I said I didn't want to be a part of the conversation. He kept on speaking to my husband and myself.
And we don't want any part of this conversation.
Okay.
Don't participate.
Sorry? I'm so sorry. I don't actually know. I think it's 132.
It's sponsored.
You came up to us.
You're in public. You don't have to participate, though. You can ignore me, like anybody else.
You're making the world better.
I am making this world better. Because people want to sweep this under the rug. Are you talking about Trabuzio by any chance? Because she's probably the one that's going to come down.
We told him to leave us alone. He said he wasn't doing anything wrong. We continued to tell him he was bothering us. My husband said he was going to call the police. We repeated for him to leave us alone multiple times. See, she really focused. They're focusing on the telling to leave them. Just like Officer Megan did. Interesting to see the body cam footage from these from her return visit to talk to them. He walked up behind my husband. His intentions were unknown to us, and he was making me very uncomfortable. He kept asking when were the police going to get here. He said till then they can meet me at the library, and finally left. Something crossed out. So there you have it, folks. Now I'd like to point out, this is ridiculous, but this is the initial offer. You probably can't really read it there. That I got when I was arraigned. This is from the DA's office. And it's asking for the initial offer. Just like right off the bat, a jail sentence of 7 days for that. That's what they're asking for there. Like to just right off the bat, day one. And then that's automatic. This offer expires today. It says right here. And now, now they're looking for 6 months. Now, the Wootons, they don't know what the law is. They're just complaining. Bitching. They're just Karens. Bitching and complaining. And so, okay, whatever. But Officer Megan knows better. She does. And don't tell me she doesn't. And here's why I know she knows better. Because I had an interaction like this before, the previous year. And she responded to it. And she said to me, that, you're not breaking any laws. Just stay on public property. And I recorded the interaction. I recorded part of her saying not that exactly, but right after that, unfortunately. But presumably her body cam and whatever. Anyway, she basically gave me permission and tacit permission on another occasion. So she knows it's all lies. It's just that, I was, at this point, I had been doing that. I had been walking around town and telling people that Belfast cops are victim blaming, criminal cunts and all. And doing that consistently for, several weeks at the point when she summoned me. So that's what changed. At least part of what changed. I also pissed her off by what I said about not responding to my complaints about others, about threatening me and whatever. Anyway, so yeah, so they're looking for, if I don't accept this and it goes to trial, say, they're going to be asking for 6 months. So she is knowingly trying to send me to jail for 6 months, have me locked up in a cage on false pretenses, which she knows perfectly well. And if she doesn't, even if she has a little tiny bit of plausible deniability, which she doesn't, what about the DAs? You think the DAs think this is legit, a legit charge? The DAs that are asking for 7 days right off the bat, who won't share files with me still. They want somebody else to represent me so that they can, pull stuff. And they don't want people seeing how the sausage is made, basically. Peeking behind the curtain and seeing the Wizard of Oz, kind of, I can keep calling them metaphors, I suppose, but hopefully y'all get what I'm going on about here for more seriously. But it's also kind of laughable, and come on, no jury's going to convict me. Once this, any of this is explained to them, and plus I have shit tons of dirt on the BPD. This whole thing started. Let's remember, this whole thing started when I was mobbed. For those of you who've been following along, if not, see my Summer Nights incident video back from 2023 or anyway. I was mobbed in a park. Well, a cop stood by and would not intervene, wouldn't do anything, stood on his phone, chatted with a bystander. And that's what started all this. And they wouldn't do anything about that. And now they're saying because I use some bad words, they're gonna throw the book at me. This little book here I've got. I'll be seeing you this summer. I'll be seeing you, Megan, and I'll be seeing you, Bill. That's Megan, the officer, and Bill, and Twistle, and Twill, however the fuck you say his name, the DA, and the other snot-faced new DA that has one of the most punchable faces. Not that I'm going to punch it, but he has what is called a punchable face, and he's got his nose turned up. I'll be seeing you folks around town, around Belfast, after I get this cleared up. I'll also be seeing you in fucking federal court when I sue your asses. Well, not so much the DAs, because they're immune, but anyway, thank all of you who aren't those folks, or cops, or part of the system in that way. Thanks very much for watching till the end. This was a lot, but I wanted to, for the record, for the public record, because this stuff, unless people talk about it, unless they, put it up in a YouTube, who would know this? It would just go, the court, DA, your defense attorney, whoever that is, and you, and maybe your family and whoever you complain about to it. So a big part of this is just putting it up on the record. So thank you for bearing witness, and for all the support, and keep fighting. And peace.
Fuck up. Told you to fuck up. Fuck up. Fuck. Told you to fuck up. Told you to fuck up. Fuck up. Fuck up. Told you to 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 fuck up.